Let me hit record. Alright, there we go. I don't want to end up playing this and then I gotta download the Twitch VOD. No, we directly record in this house, okay. Alright, let's see here. Settings. Language is English, message speed, auto delay, music volume, master volume, effects volume. Okay. I'm guessing there's no voice acting. Tip, remember to save the game from time to time. How do you save? Oh, okay. Space bar, you can save. All right. This audio is crazy. I'm not going to lie to you. There's something heavy in the air. Some kind of tension. It's not just silence that follows his pauses. It's expectation. Oh, okay. All right, religious cult leader. Okay. Don't like those types. The son of a bitch knows how to talk. Dozens of people listen to Tony's sermon with tears in their eyes. After each pause, they wait. Suspense making their pulses race. And Tony knows it. You notice the way he waits before starting certain lines. How he builds up the crowd's energy and makes the most of every silence. Although you've heard his speeches before, you can't help but notice that there's a certain magnetism in his words. You remember that before the storms, Tony had been a used car salesman. Did you know that the idea that hell is below us was etched into the Western subconscious by a 14th century poem? Tony claims that more than 500 years ago, the devil sat behind the Dante Alighieri and dictated the verses of the Divine Comedy to him. You look around. You can feel the contained energy and you know it won't be much longer. Where do you think the tornadoes that plague our county came from? Don't be fooled. You close your eyes and feel the hairs on your arms stand on end. Hell isn't below us. No, not beneath our feet. You crazy son of a bitch. Hell is above us all. People recognize the end of the sermon and you feel like something finally breaks. A huge amount of energy gets released. And the clamor is deafening. You wonder if this same crowd could be heard over the passing of an F5 tornado. Trying not to draw too much attention, you walk away from the scene by strolling to the other side of the barn. You light a cigarette and take a few drags. You can still hear them cheering. You grab your head. What were you thinking? You didn't infiltrate the Bahnsen Knights to analyze their leader's sermons. You need to know what happened to Cooper. You think of your partner, of the work at the agency, all the beers you shared. Cooper is the godfather of your 3-year-old daughter. The day she was born, he promised that whatever happened to you, he would be there for her. You feel an emptiness in your stomach and try to think of something else. I still can't understand why you smoke that brand, Boulder. Tony, you're startled back into the present. You didn't hear him coming. I needed some air. Here. Grab the keys. I guess we gotta grab the keys. Tony shakes the keychain close to your face. You don't really seem to have a choice and grab the keys. Is there something wrong with my Sierra? No, it's not that. Today's sermon was intense. I need you to drive me in my Sierra. What about mine? Should I leave it here? Yeah, don't worry. Tomorrow a new driver joins the group. And we're going to use the barn for the baptism. The what? A new baptism? This soon? You stare at Tony looking for a sign. Nothing. It's not the first time Tony's it's not the first time Tony's had someone drive him in his car, but it's the first time he asked you. Let's hurry before everyone heads out. You walk to Tony's Ford Sierra and get into the driver's seat. I'll sit in the back. Need to stretch my legs a bit. I don't trust that. You turn the keys and hear the engine roar. Step on it, Boulder. Don't be shy. Why did he ask you to drive him? Why not ask one of the others? Could it be because he found you near where the cars were parked and just wanted to hurry? And what was that about a new baptism? Based on what you've heard, neither candidate's ready yet. Ooh, that art style, I love it. Even though you try to focus on the route, you can't help but think that something is wrong. A doubt forms like a cloud in your mind. What does Tony know? Look at Tony in the mirror. Tony must be lying down because you can't see him in the rearview mirror. Ooh. Do we look over our shoulder or do we keep driving? I'm going to look over the shoulder. What's Tony doing back there? You can't just drive with your back to someone like him. You push hard against the steering wheel to force your back into the seat. And try to look over your shoulder. Stay in the lane, Boulder. You look ahead again and straighten the car. Was Tony laying against the rear side passenger door? You're sure the voice came from that side. But how did he notice the car deviating? The Sierra had barely moved from the center of the lane. Talk to Tony. I need to know what's going on in his mind, because he seems like a lunatic. Tony, we don't have to chat, Boulder. What does he mean? Your hands sweat on the steering wheel. Is he trying to set me up, dog? Turn on the radio. We don't got a choice now, we just gotta turn on the radio. We don't know what Tony is doing back there, and he doesn't want to talk either. Music might help you think more clearly. Turn on the radio. Static. Turn the dial to the right. You always want to go to the right. Someone talking about politics, not what you're looking for. You don't want to hear the sports results either, and you keep looking. You can't turn the dial to the right anymore. Oh, okay. Left. Left. More static. You feel some movement at the back. Leave it there. Listen. You recognize the song and a chill runs down your spine. It's an old blues song about betrayal. He's trying to set me up, young. Where's the blicky? I'm gonna stay on the station. You focus on the song's lyrics and everything falls into place. Tony knows. He knows you infiltrated the Bahnsen Knights. He knows you're investigating what happened to Cooper. The son of a bitch just knows. So what would he do now? Would he wait until he got out of the car and shoot you in the back of the head? You grip the wheel tight with both hands. Tony would never kill anyone inside of one of his Sierras. You think of your daughter, of Cooper, of the promise he made you that no one would ever fulfill. Boulder, the truck. Everything happened too fast. And although Tony wasn't killed instantly, neither of you survived the frontal collision with the truck. Oh, we died. Oh, okay. Let's retry. Okay, so by staying on that station, it caused us to go into deep thought, and then we weren't paying attention to the road as a result of it. That's okay. I like these kind of games. I actually do like these kind of games. Okay, that's cool with me. Oh, so let me see something real quick. Let me see. All right, let's retry. All right, we're gonna turn to the left. Uh huh. We already know what song this is. This time we're gonna change the station. Boulder, what are you doing? Sorry, but you know the rules of the Bahnsen Knights better than anyone. The driver chooses the music. Tony laughs, and then something about it calms you down. Turn the dial to the left. One of your favorite songs comes on, and you let go of the dial. You don't know if it's because of how Tony laughed when you mentioned one of the Bahnsen Knights rules, or because you're listening to the first song you danced to with Eva. Whatever the reason, you start to calm down. Okay, there. That should keep us alive for a little longer. Before you know it, you're singing the song under your breath. Come on, Boulder. Louder. Pumped up by Tony's words, you start singing out loud. When you finish, Tony starts clapping. Listen, tomorrow's an important day for all of us. I moved the baptism of the new driver forward because there's someone who's not going to be sticking around. The others were going to take care of him before going to the bar. Who was Tony talking about? And what had this nameless driver done? Would they do to him the same as they did to Cooper? Again, this feeling of emptiness in your stomach. But let's focus on the positive. Tomorrow you'll have your first route exorcism. Excuse me? We're doing what? What are those? What are we doing here? Happy, Boulder? You try to smile to hide the shaking in your left hand. The rest of the trip you do in silence. You know that you'll have to be more careful than ever if you don't want to be discovered. You park near the entrance of the bar, get out and open Tony's door. This is so dope. So like, one thing about me, like I grew up reading like Goosebumps and stuff like that, right? And they used to have these like choose your own adventure, choose your own ending variants sometimes. So like you would come to a decision in the book, and then like if you want to do this, go to this page, or if you're going to do this, go to this page, and then you could decide whether the person in the book like ends up dying to a monster, or if they end up victoriously killing the monster or running away and getting away from it safely. And stuff like this right here reminds me of that. Like visual novels like this remind me of that. So this is, I got like a little bit of like childhood joy out of that right now. I'm literally selling my book like that on eBay. See, I'm you let me know when it's out. If it's not already out, let me know that when it's out because I want a copy. I love that type of shit. If you ever see like that little bookshelf behind me, I got them joints on there. If I wasn't, listen, maybe after I beat the game, I'll just pull a couple of those out. Let's see here. Tony slaps you on the shoulder and smiles. You enter the bar. Tony nods towards the counter and winks at you. He then vanishes through the door in the back. In Danny's, the beer is free for the Bahnsen Knights. Old Danny had been one of the group's first drivers. After his tragic death, his son Kevin had taken over the bar. Kevin despised Tony and his followers, but even with their differences, he upheld their agreements with the Bahnsen Knights. Does Tony know that Kevin spit in every glass of beer before putting it on the counter? Yuck. You hear someone sweating to your left and see a group of men walking away from the Glenlivet dartboard. The dartboard was Kevin's idea. Each customer is allowed to throw one dart a night, but not the Bahnsen Knights. Tony had taken care of that. The Bahnsen Knights can throw as many darts as they want and try to make a Glenn's eye. Let me get close to the dartboard. I don't want none of them spitty beers, you know what I'm saying? I'm not really looking to have any saliva today, you know what I'm saying? So let's go check the dartboard. A Glenn's eye is the highest score. The center of the dartboard. I've hit one of those before. I ain't know it's called a Glenn's eye. I just threw the dart. Whoever gets a Glenn's eye wins a shot of a single malt whiskey, a Glenlivet. And it's customary for the winner to pour the shot of Glenlivet in their eye. All right, let's take aim. Oh man, this is tough. I'm gonna wait for it to go back left and then come back. Oh, close. 40. Cooper used to say that to get a Glenn's eye, you don't need to think. That when you think, your mind tricks you into seeing things more simply than they are. I was really close too. First try, I was very close. You don't have to worry about aiming and visualizing an imaginary crosshair. All of those are just mind games. Crutches of the imagination. What you need is to wait for it and listen to your body. The body knows, Boulder. Let's throw another one. Oh, way off. Way off. Closer, but still not quite. I'm just gonna pick random joints. Here's what I'm about to do. I'm gonna count how long it takes to cross the middle, and I'm gonna know that's my count and go from there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slightly off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so it's not consistent. It's randomized. Okay. Damn. The input is slower as far as the click than what it shows. See how it's always like 1 second off, one little half second off? Not that time. That time I just clicked it out of frustration. But every time it's close to it, it's a half second off because it's not throwing it when I'm clicking it. It's throwing it a half second after I click it. So I really just gotta guess it. Gotta guess it. I gotta anticipate it. Because the body knows, right? I'm just doing whatever now. I'm gonna give it 3 more tries. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's get a beer. You know he's not going to spit in your glass. Kevin was Cooper's friend. And something tells you that Kevin knows you're nothing like the rest of the Bahnsen Knights. You finish your beer and stretch your back. You look over at the door in the back. There's something Tony said you can't get out of your head. Starting tomorrow, they'll let you join in the Holy Cross. You and your Ford Sierra will participate in the route exorcisms at last. I think it being route or route just really depends on where you're from. Episode 2. You place your hand on your chest and suppress the burp before it reaches your mouth. You adjust your seat. You must and muster the strength to embark on another day. It's been over a month. It's been over a month since your first exorcism. You don't know how much more you can take. You still haven't discovered what happened to Cooper, nor have you found the evidence necessary to incriminate Tony. You lower the sun visor on the passenger side. View the drawing. Anguish constricts your chest. Neither heartburn nor the burning sensation in your esophagus troubles you anymore. You experience a shapeless pain, a pain that doesn't cling to the body, but rather to the absence of anything. Oli, you focus on the drawing, on those markers that still feel close to you, yet are part of a different life. You recall Eva's laughter upon seeing how Olivia depicted you. Eva pointing to your belly, and you feigned offense. You would scold her for mocking your child's artistic abilities. Eva would ask you to put Olivia to sleep, giving you a playful wink, and you would lull her to sleep, watching her fight the pull of slumber, aware that Eva awaited you in the other room. Oh, man. So he lost his family due to something that Tony did? You gaze at the holy cards. Sometimes you wonder if the agency complicates matters unnecessarily. Each saint represents a specific area of investigation, and the holy cards serve as a means to communicate with your handler discreetly. You shut your eyes and you believe you catch a glimpse of them. You start the car, knowing that the road numbs your consciousness. Cooper once told you that he used to fall asleep listening to a tape of white noise on his Walkman. It helped because white noise encompasses all the frequencies audible to humans, the perfect place for those with voices that kept him awake to get lost in the crowd. Have you read Poe? Cooper held Edgar Allan Poe in high regard, and it felt like a personal affront every time you told him that you hadn't read him yet. Edgar Allan Poe was cold. He was scary, but he was cold. You glance at the passenger seat. Would it be enough this time? The idea of using holy cards in the investigation couldn't be more apt. After all, you perceive every communication with your handler as a prayer. You walk with great strides. You remember Eva, how she mimicked the rhythm of your walk and laughed while doing so. There they are. Eva, 1954 to 1981. Damn, she was only 27? That's tough. That's super tough. Olivia, 1978 to 1981. Only 3 years old. It was your handler's idea. When you heard it, it seemed like a bad joke. You couldn't believe what she was proposing. Erecting the fake graves of your wife and daughter in a local cemetery. Fake graves. Fake graves. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. I was about to say. Your handler said it was perfect as a cover. Your wife and daughter would have been killed in a road accident, which would explain your disregard for life and self-destructive impulses behind the wheel. Two desirable traits among the Bahnsen Knights. However, the true brilliance of the idea lay elsewhere, and that was to name them after your real wife and daughter. As an undercover agent, you would have no contact with them, and you could harness those genuine feelings of loss to make your cover more convincing. You gaze at your daughter's grave, 1978 to 1981. Even though you know no one is buried there, the dates evoke a profound sadness, and you avert your eyes. You're aware your handler chose your daughter's grave for the exchange because that reaction is common to most people. It's difficult to confront the death of a child. Man, oh man, some shit's about to go down. They're making this setting way too ominous for something to not be going down. Let me see. Remember what each holy card represents. Father Mario. Father Mario was a healing priest from La Matanza, Argentina. There's a famous phrase of his, I am the guitar, God is the guitar player. The agency uses Father Mario's holy card to catalog the actions of Tony's acquaintances, and thus build a case against the entire hierarchy of the Bahnsen Knights. Saint Cajetan of Thien, patron saint of administrative officers. The agency uses his holy card to catalog accounting documentation. Mary Undoer of Knots is an allegorical representation of human difficulties. The knots symbolize those problems that the Virgin helps to unravel. The agency uses her holy card to catalog documentation that seems to have been forged or obtained illegally. Alright. Examine available evidence. The receipt is for 20 cans of red paint. You know that Tony paints huge crosses on his barns, and although the receipt is not evidence in itself to convict him, it could prove valuable to forensic accountants. Okay. Permission to drive after curfew. After the storm season and some security issues that followed the humanitarian crises, the government issued a curfew prohibiting movement, except for those with a special permit. How had Tony managed to get a permit issued in his name? Damn, I forgot what it was again. Okay. Let's try it. Let's see if that's the right one. Assign first evidence correctly. I did it right. Okay. You leave the holy cards on the grave, and you retreat the way you came. Would the evidence stack up this time? Could you build a case with this new information? How much longer will you endure the Bahnsen Knights? However desperate you are to find out what happened to Cooper, you long to go home. You want to embrace them, kiss them. You miss them so much. You yearn for Olivia to draw you, for Eva to laugh at you, to put Olivia to sleep, knowing that Eva is waiting for you in the other room. The Sierra gets in front of you, and you manage to brake at the last second. Fuck you! Vincent smiles and you barely stop yourself from stepping out of the car to punch the grin off his face. You think of Cooper and one of the exercises he taught you to survive as an undercover agent. It's a mnemonic trick. You have to imagine a sort of continuum for each person you interact with. Some sort of bar divided into 7 equal parts. Follow me, Boulder. You look at Vincent, and you can imagine that bar. The beginning of the bar represents full confidence. The end, total suspicion. That point where they're going to accuse you and discover your true identity. You apply Cooper's trick to all of the Bahnsen Knights. Apart from Tony. With Tony, you never know where to stand, bar or no bar. You hear Vincent rev the car's engine. He wants to see us. You grit your teeth hard. And you take comfort in knowing that if the evidence is good enough this time, it won't be long before you'll be back with your family. Amen. Amen. Say, man. Why he want me to follow him? Episode 3. How many episodes is it? Sheesh. Vincent steps on the gas. You can't afford to fall behind. The roadblocks are long gone. Ever since the storm started, everyone, police, firefighters, even FEMA for a while, has been dedicated to the reconstruction effort. Or at least that's what they're trying to do. Resources are scarce, and politics is never up to the task. In a context like this, with official actors attempting to manage the chaos, paragovernmental organizations emerge. Cooper's mission was to infiltrate and investigate Tony and his Bahnsen Knights, a group that caught the agency's attention due to their growth in the wake of those first tornadoes. Hell on high, Tony's messianic delusion. The agency isn't concerned with the religious ideas of the Bahnsen Knights. The agency is interested in the power they've acquired. Economic power, as well as territorial. The road leading to the barn is gravel, and despite bumping your head against the car's roof multiple times, you refuse to let Vincent gain too much distance. What the hell? He rushes at you brandishing a knife? Despite the others trying to stop him, the blade hits its mark. He stabs you in the stomach. What the fuck just happened? The wound is deep. You suffer before the darkness takes you. I didn't even get to make a choice. Luca! You hit the brakes just in time. You crazy motherfucker. Your heart is pounding. You know there's no room for even a moment's distraction when dealing with the Bahnsen Knights. That was so weird. How did I die the last time? You step out of the car and let them park it for you. You know they're going to tease you about this. But you also know you have a role to play. You're bolder, a big, calm guy, but with a self-destructive urge gnawing at your core. You're an iceberg from which two chunks have been torn away, and the current carried them off, never to return. Your handler had recommended you to use the cover story to your advantage, arguing that pity is one of the most powerful resources when it comes to diverting attention. You look at the Bahnsen Knights around you and can't help but wonder. Compassion, pity, empathy. They sure is ugly. They ugly in the mug, young golly. Will these three characters be able to feel something like that? Keith was the eldest among them all. And if half the stories about him were true, he would have a guaranteed place at Satan's side. Sheesh. Luca, who you almost ran over a few minutes ago, you're pretty sure there must be a language somewhere in which Luca and psychopath are etymologically linked. I know how to say the actual word, etymology. Saying etymologically was a little bit tough there, but I got it. And Vincent, a sadist who's never heard of the Marquis de Sade. Self-taught, a natural-born sadist, and therefore much more dangerous. Sorry, I was distracted for a second. Don't worry, Boulder. At least you didn't kill me. Although Eva and Olivia's deaths were part of your act, a fiction, you can't help but feel a rage that threatens to consume you. You glance at Vincent, who shakes his head back and forth. You start to say something and Keith clears his throat. Stop fucking around, you two. You know why we're here. Tony wants to exercise a new road. So I recommend you bury your demons deep, Boulder. And pay more attention next time. You look at Luca and Luca smiles. What's up, Boulder? Do you fancy me? On the contrary, you want to cover his face with bruises, turn his expression into a Rorschach stain, and not worry about what you may or may not see in it. Hey! Vincent points towards the door of the barn. And the three of them suddenly become serious. Speaking of Rome, Tony and Monique the librarian. Monique is Tony's trusted lieutenant, a woman of few words, and who you doubt knows how to smile. Listen to me. By now, I reckon we all know the signs. Why are his knuckles covered in blood? A new tornado is approaching our roads, and we're not going to let it pass. Tony goes over everyone's roles in the exorcism. Unconsciously, you position yourself on the outskirts of the group. Do these guys really think they can influence the path of a tornado? Boulder, listen to me. Today you go first. But Tony. Tony looks Luca in the eye and Luca looks down. Fine then. You nod. What are you waiting for? You run to the Sierra. Before you get in, you steal a glance at the barn. What was Tony doing in there? And whose blood did he wipe off his knuckles? You mark the position of the barn on the map. As soon as you had the chance, you'd go back to investigate. A new exorcism on the road. And this was the first time you'd be out at the front. The most important position in the formation, for which you need the total confidence of the rest of the drivers. You always found it hard to read Tony. Assign you to the top of the cross? Why give you that role? You gaze at the sun visor on the passenger seat. No, this isn't the time to seek solace in the drawings, nor to think about how much more time until the extraction. You start the car and rev the engine, hoping that the roaring noise will drown out even your own thoughts. I guess we gotta exercise the road, whatever that means. Move right. Oh, after the initial impact, the chain reaction crash unfolds. Your car somersaults in the air and your hands instinctively cover your face. In your final reluctant moment, you hold on to thoughts of Eva. Despite your resistance, darkness finally envelops you. Oh, okay, so I saw the flashing white car there. I thought that was it telling me to go there. I'm guessing I was supposed to go the other way. So let's do this again. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, so whenever we see that car, we just gotta move away from it. Got it. Okay, and if it hits any other cars. Okay. That's why I needed to understand real quick. Okay, so I gotta keep everybody safe. That's what I have to do. I have to keep everybody safe. Left. right. Nope, we can stay where we are. Right. There we go. Okay, I figured it out. I'm not gonna move yet. We don't got a reason to move yet. Yeah, okay. Alright, the tornado weakens. Your heart races, flooded with excitement. You can't explain. You roll down your window, and only the horns of the Bahnsen Knights can be heard on the road. Are there multiple endings to this game? It's not the first time it's happened to you. As soon as you walk into Danny's bar, you feel like you're floating. Like you can see yourself from the outside, and you're someone else. Look who's here. The illusion soon shatters. You try to smile and return the greeting. You're Boulder, an undercover agent investigating a religious cult led by Tony, looking for answers about the disappearance of Cooper, your dear friend and godfather to your daughter. You miss little Olivia so much. Your eyes itch, and it's not because of the smoke in the bar. You take a breath. What are you going to do now? Go to the... Let's go straight to the bar. You walk to the bar. Kevin continues to do his thing without looking up. Ask if everything is all right. Ever feel out of place, Boulder? The question takes you by surprise. You read all of Cooper's reports, and you know that Kevin had become something like a friend to him. What exactly had it said? Kevin, current owner of Danny's Bar, is one of the most interesting characters I've met connected to the Bahnsen Knights. You'd like to tell him that you're friends with Cooper and ask him if he knows what happened to him. But things aren't that simple. Sometimes there's just no choice. I was always good with numbers, you know? That's why Dad never let me go. The old man even asked me to do his taxes. Did you ever read Martin Gardner's columns in Scientific American? You look at Kevin carefully. Although you don't know exactly what he's talking about, you now understand Cooper's interest. The first one I ever read was recommended to me by a customer. I was 15, waiting tables. This one guy couldn't make up his mind what to order. He'd ask for one thing and instantly regret it, change to something else. I thought maybe he didn't have enough money. I ran him through the menu again, including combinations of stuff that I figured he might like, given what he'd already asked for. And in my head, I calculated the right price for all of these made-up dishes. The guy just stared at me, and he told me to bring him whatever I wanted. He left me a hell of a tip and a copy of Scientific American. On the cover he wrote, "Read the mathematical games column. You'll enjoy it." You know how many times I thought about getting the hell out of this place? But I couldn't leave Dad on his own. Dad got me a subscription to Scientific American and later signed me up to a correspondence writing course. Getting the mail every month is what kept me sane, Boulder. Ask about the course, man. We building with this guy. He may be the guy to help us figure this all out. Kevin looks at you for a few seconds. He seems to enjoy being listened to. The guy who taught the course signed his name with only 3 letters. LCB. I used to fantasize about what those letters stood for. Lewis Carroll Bateman, Lisa Coleman Burke, but I never found out. They'd send me these booklets with theories and exercises. Circle of characters, LCB called his creations. I started to put what I learned into practice. I even sent some stories off to some address in one of the booklets, and took the chance to ask about the meaning of the signature. Never heard back. Kevin pauses before answering. Do you know how many non-collinear points are needed to define a circle? 2, right? You got 1 to start here, and then when it comes around, that's 2, right? 2 is not enough? Oh. It takes 3 non-collinear points to define a circle. Kevin smiles. Imagine 3 points on a piece of paper. When you connect 3 dots, you make a triangle. And if you draw a circle that fits around this triangle, you'll see there's only one that does it perfectly. Each of the 3 points you drew is a vertex of the triangle, the corners. And the center of the circle is a special point that's exactly the same distance from each of the corners. Imagine you put the point of a compass in that spot and you make the pencil touch any of the corners of the triangle. Then draw a circle with the compass. The circumference will touch all 3 points. Yo, this guy is smart. Like, he's super smart. LCB states that a character can be defined by just 3 stories. And rather than writing novels or short stories, he prefers character circles. But a circle is a different geometric figure. It eats its own tail. According to LCB, the character circle is the most perfect narrative unit. And because of this basic perfection, the most tragic. Why the most tragic? Because the first thing you have to accept when you do something is that you remove the possibility of doing something else. A guy in a suit used to come to the bar. He didn't talk much. He'd read the newspaper and have nothing but coffee for breakfast. I never confirmed it, but from the first day he came, I figured he was FBI. One of the LCB exercises was about that. Observing someone and imagining 3 stories that define them. Those stories outline a character circle. Want to hear this FBI Coffee's guy's 3 stories? Yes. Tell us more. Maybe another night. Why would you edge us? I need to serve these beasts now. Order a beer, man. You drink your beer in silence. It's the first one of the night. He edged us, man. That's crazy. Although your handler strategy is smart, you know you can't drink too much. There's a point at which no matter how well you can hold your booze, you're going to start talking. And on that borderline between what's facts and what's fiction, you run the risk of someone pulling the veil and everything coming to an abrupt end. Alright? Listen to Kevin's stories. Okay, he's not trying to talk anymore. I can back out. Let's go to the left of the bar. I don't want to get too drunk. That's what they just said. Sit with the Bahnsen Knights. Sit down, Boulder. There's a deck if you want to try. Try what? What are we trying? What are we doing? What are we doing? I have the record. You look at Luca, and Luca smiles and winks at you. how you'd like to wipe that smile off his face with a punch. Talk to him. I don't want to play no solitaire. Talk to Monique. We never talked to her before. Monique looks ahead. You wonder what she's thinking about. And for the moment, you can't think of anything to say to her. Okay. So we can't talk to her. Well, let's talk to Vincent then. Ask him about the glasses. It seems you want to make conversation, Boulder. I could tell you I wear them because smoke irritates my eyes, or because drinking makes them red. It could be because I don't want anyone to see me as I am, and I hide behind them. Or I could tell you a story from when I was a kid. Why not? Two of my neighbors, a few years older than me, they invented this game. It involved grabbing my neck and lowering my head until it almost touched a freshly made dog turd. Oh, I know about that game. I've seen that in movies before. And seeing who could hold me the closest without my face touching it or me getting away. At first I resisted. I tried with all my strength to get out of it. But then I got used to seeing pieces of shit right up close. You know how many times I had conjunctivitis and missed school? Damn. What do you say, Boulder? Could this have something to do with what happened to me when I was a kid? The truth is much simpler, you know. Glasses look fucking good on me. Hey man, Vince is alright in my book. I ain't gonna lie, man. He's cool with me. Let's talk to Keith. Talk about the exorcism. You wait a second for the others to shut up. And you ask Keith if he believes in route exorcisms. Keith looks at you for a while without answering. I owe Tony a lot. I was locked up for a long time, Boulder. Do you know how hard it is to ask yourself questions, knowing how much you hate not having the answers? When I was younger, I got a stupid idea in my head. Can I break someone's eardrum with a gas pump's nozzle? But why were you asking yourself that? Once a question settles in my head, Keith takes a deep breath. It's as if a stranger came into your house, sat down on your favorite couch, and started watching TV, drinking your beer, and eating your snacks. The questions in my head are that son of a bitch, Boulder. And the only way I have to kick him out is to answer them. Keith scratches his face. It can be done, Boulder. Puncturing someone's eardrum with a gas pump's nozzle is a lot easier than you think. Nigga's a fucking lunatic. Let's talk to Luca. Oh gosh, I don't like Luca. Talk about almost running him over. Let's see if he tries to attack me again over that. I don't understand how you killed your family. You have good reflexes. Without taking your eyes off him for a second, you think of all the options you'd have if you didn't care about the mission. Punch him in the face until he's unconscious. Smash a beer glass against the gleaming surface of his skull. Flip the table in the air and elbow him in the neck amid the confusion. So Boulder, what you gonna do? Let's talk about the exorcism. You know that Luca didn't like Tony choosing you to be in front of the cross. I'm not going to deny that you got balls, Boulder. But sometimes it takes more than balls to it takes more. No. Sometimes it's not enough to have balls and fuck me. Luca takes a deep breath and takes a good gulp of beer. You wonder how Luca can screw up the punchline on something as basic as sometimes it takes more than balls to, and at the same time, joke so effortlessly about the tragedy like the supposed death of your family, even demonstrating a good sense of timing. All right, we talked to everybody. I'm not going to play solitaire. Well, let me see here. How does this work? I know how to play solitaire, but I don't know what this is. Rules are simple. You'll turn over one card per turn. Per turn. Why can't I talk? That card is the salvation, and it will have to beat the doom card. If the salvation seems low to you, you can add as many cards as you want from the cross. If the salvation card is higher than the doom card, you can continue playing. If it's lower, you lose. And if it's of equal value, you'll have to break the tie by turning over two new cards. One of salvation and another one of doom. If you lose the tiebreaker, which we call leap of faith, you'll be able to look for a miracle. The miracle can only be achieved if you match the value of doom. Alright, man. Alright, man. Where's the back button? All I can do now is play it. I can't back out. Let me exit. Yeah, don't play anymore. Yes, I'm sure. Get me out of here. That card game was way too complex. That don't even sound fun to me now. Okay, go to the right of the bar. There we go. Tables in the back. There's a man you've never seen before sitting at one of the tables. His face is covered and you wonder if he's hiding from someone. But isn't it true that we all hide from someone else? 1 second, y'all. Oh. Sorry, I had to blow my nose. Let me see. You start to say something and the man looks you in the eye. You decide not to bother him. You recognize the need to be alone when you see it. Who is he? Does anyone know? Alright, let's go back. Let's approach the jukebox. Look at the pictures. Danny's posing with a younger man you don't recognize. You read the message on the picture. To a true fan, Scaloni. A former president of the country. You wonder how there are still people who believe in politicians. Facts. Big facts right now. Will it be enough just to want to believe? The first of the pictures is of a famous crooner. What was his name? Tim Robinson. Next to it, a picture of an attractive woman. Could she be famous? The third picture is of Danny with a man you don't recognize either. And Danny's bar in the bottom picture. The date in the corner suggests that the photo was taken around the time of the inauguration. Elvis Presley with his punk ass. Is it true what you heard at the agency about his death? A group of friends. The photo is old. Why are you looking at the pictures on the wall of a shitty bar? Sometimes you think that everything you do is nothing more than a simple distraction. A way to delay the inevitable. Alright, well, they let me know that wasn't about nothing. Let's go to their office. There are two goons checking that no one enters the office. Damn, so we can't enter that way. I guess we go drink some more? Oh, ask about the goons outside Tony's office. There we go. Kevin looks at you and seems to hesitate. But in the end, he says nothing. You remember Cooper's technique. The imaginary bar. Maybe if you could get Kevin to trust you completely and deplete that bar. Let me order another beer. The second. Now the question is, do I keep drinking? Do I like black out or something? What happens? Let's test it out. You burp and try to settle into your seat. Kevin shakes his head from side to side. Enough for the night, Boulder. Dizzy as you are, you think maybe it's for the best. He still says nothing. And he still doesn't give me any stories. His trust is one bar away from getting us to trust him. Let's see if maybe if we win darts. Oh, can I hold it and then it does? Okay, so if I hold down on the mouse button, and then when I let go, he'll throw it. Maybe that works better. Nah, it's still tough. I'm legit stuck right now. I really don't actually know what I'm supposed to do. Let me see here. They don't even got guides for this game. I can't never get it right on the middle. It leaves the middle so fast. I wish there was something that like you could do to, you know what I'm saying, impact it. Like if you just made it, hey, Rob, you're the one controlling when it goes there in the middle, then throw it. I like that way more than this just randomized. Cause I'm not moving that little crosshair. It's just jumping around on its own. So I'm at its will. Shell, redeem, get up and stretch. Ah, you're right. Ugh. Cause I just got up and stretched. All right, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Stretch out the shoulders, the arms. Ugh. Whew. All right. I give up. I don't know what that how long are you gonna resist thing is. I don't know what to do. I am completely lost. I am completely lost right now. I'm sorry. I gotta look for some type of guide right now. I don't know. Nobody got guides. Can I just leave? Make a hand gesture and walk to the door. Exorcisms on the road. Messianic delusions. Sadists at the wheel. And the constant threat of being killed. How much more of all this could you take? Yeah, we could have just left. All right. I was sitting there trying to figure out if there was something I had to unlock there. But I'm feeling like there's stuff I could have done there, but I just couldn't do it. Like I couldn't achieve it. I'm not good enough to achieve it. So I'll probably get a bad ending. That's probably just what that means. I'm going to end up getting a bad ending, but I'm fine with that. Your waist hurts. You feel a burning in your esophagus and the onset of a cramp in your left leg. You try to remember happier times, times when you awoke differently. Eva used to rise before you. The first thing that would greet you was the aroma of coffee wafting from the kitchen. After a while, she'd enter the room with 2 steaming cups. She'd set them on the bedside table and place a kiss on your lips. The coffee would stop steaming and cool in the cups, but neither of you would particularly mind. Years later, Olivia would arrive, and the mornings would be different. Not better nor worse, just different. Suddenly, breathing becomes a struggle. A profound sense of loss engulfs you. It's as if Eva and Olivia were no longer there. As if the accident had really happened, and you can never see them again. You shake your head. How much did you drink last night? Whoever left you the note had done a good job. The fact that they did it without you noticing bothers you. You step out of the car and the morning's chill takes you by surprise. Mile 54. You think about the graphology classes at the agency. The meaning entwined within each stroke. Yet beyond any of the theoretical discourse, you recognize the sender of the message. Could it be actual evidence? You look around you. The cars of the Bahnsen Knights rest like cattle in the field before their circadian rhythms kick in. We're going to look at Lucas first, because that man's crazy, and he already killed us once. You can't stand Luca. His attitudes, the way he talks to people, that giggling. You remember your high school years, where unfortunately you crossed paths with several people like him. Look at Monique Sierra. Of all the Bahnsen Knights, Monique is the one with whom you find the hardest to strike up a conversation. You're not surprised. You were never good at talking to women. Can't relate, buddy. You think of Eva. If it wasn't for her, you two would have never had a first date. Look at Vincent Sierra. Vincent sleeps. That's better. You still remember the story he told you when you asked him about the glasses. Is it true? Or is it part of a story told to fit into the world of the Bahnsen Knights? Is there even a world out there? Instinctively, you look at the sun visor and sigh. You don't want to wake anyone up. The last thing you need is for any of these sociopaths to tell you. And you only start the engine when you figure you're good and far down the road. This art style is so vicious to me, yeah. Mile 54. What's Tony after at mile 54? Your stomach grumbles, and a gloomy thought crosses your mind. What if this was your last shot at breakfast? You try to think of the Bahnsen Knights territory, of the number of barns with that giant red cross slapped on the wall. What would all of this look like from above? Cooper was always on about the gap between a map and his territory. And he'd shake his head when you said you still hadn't picked up Borges, despite his prodding. You order a black coffee, eggs, and bacon. If this is your last breakfast, you won't be missing out on anything. All of a sudden, appetite's gone. You drop your fork on your plate and wonder if maybe he'd have been better never having tasted happiness in life. You feel the dampness in your eyes and the quiver in your hands. Happiness, that's the worst drug. Damn, bro. Withdrawal hits harder than a freight train. You just want to head back home. You wish all of this to be over. How much longer are you going to hold out? Cooper had it figured. More than a few times he'd yammered about time being the biggest foe for any undercover agent. What was that line he just couldn't quit repeating? Reality's just an illusion we've gotten used to. Ooh, that's a bar. What the? The evidence you left on your daughter's grave is no longer there. But the 3 holy cards are. Father Mario, a holy card used by the agency to catalog the actions of Tony Circle. Saint Cajetan of Thene, used to catalog, yeah, we know that, and Mary, undoer of knots. Along with these holy cards, you find 2 new ones, Our Lady of Health and Saint Expeditus. Fucking hell. You bend down to pick them up and you feel a great sense of helplessness. What on earth is your handler looking for? More evidence that Tony's a son of a bitch? Isn't it enough to know Cooper's gone? In Cooper, did he find anything? Or had he simply been discovered? Your head's spinning, and you try to concentrate. Almost as if nature was giving you a sign. You spot the shadows slipping away under the light of the midday sun. It's time. It's time for what? The road meanders gently, and you think of Eva. How'd she sway to her jam, all graceful and free? It's a stone's throw away now, and you ease off the gas. And there it is, finally. Thought you weren't showing up. You smile. You never considered that option. Here we are, at mile 54. And it ain't just us who's crossed paths. And it ain't just us who's crossed paths at this point, huh? You familiar with the backstory of the Bahnsen Knights? You like to tell them yes, to spill that you're an undercover agent, and that there's a fat file about it back at the agency. You'd buy a ticket to see the look on his face. Ask him about your partner, but you just shake your head. Hold on a sec. I guarantee it's going to be worth your while. Back in '83, there was this curious happening. 2 F5 tornadoes nailed the heart of the county at the same time. Remember what they blabbered about their paths on TV? It's tough for you to admit it. It's tough for you to admit, but it only took him 3 sentences to hook you. You remained silent and let him continue telling his story. I was working as a used car salesman back then. My town took the biggest punch. One tornado slashed it south to north. Later, another one swept in southwest to northeast. This way, like a cross. Got saved by a fluke. Tony takes a pause. Town was pretty much wiped out. My boss was a son of a bitch. They love saying son of a bitch in this game. Golly. Mark Fisher. Mark Fisher? You scour your memory for that name popping up in the agency dossier. And I ain't just tossing that out. You know what Monique says about adjectives, right? You don't. But you're glad to have a new topic of conversation with the librarian. Anyway, Mark owed me commission for my last sales. He knew I needed that cash, but didn't give a damn. Once the sirens quit wailing, I hoofed it to the office. Sifted through debris, clinging to the hope of scooping up anything. But I found nothing. Cash box was busted open. Never found out who swiped the money. It wasn't Mark, he died in the storms. Something snapped in me. I started tearing everything apart. Like a third tornado ripping through the damn offices. Must have caught the glint of metal. Behind a picture frame was a key and a legend. Mile 54. I figured Mark had other stuff going on. So without thinking too much, I left the office. And I started looking for Mile 54. You got any clue how many Mile 50 more markers litter this county? You shake your head and Tony grins. Started off with the closest one. And I didn't find anything. Kept at it. And after a while, landed in this spot. The barn was padlocked. But I got the key. I couldn't believe my eyes. Felt like I'd stepped into heaven's gate. Sierra stretching as far as you could see. My boss had him imported from Europe. And for some reason, he couldn't sell them just yet. Know what a cross is, Boulder? A cross is an intersection. A meeting point. Two tornadoes. A guy and a batch of imported cars. Tony takes a pause. His stare's intense. It's hard for you to bear it. But also two friends. Or a pair of foes. Each of us carries more than one cross. The key is knowing which one to flaunt to others. Silence gets heavy. You don't dare to break it. Shall we go back, Boulder? You nod, and Tony's words rattle in your head. I don't know what's up. Is he? This whole game has felt like he's plotting to either kill us, get us set up, or make us next in command. I can't tell which one it's going to be. I don't know. I literally don't know, young. I just know he got me nervous. That's the signs of some good storytelling, though. I'm not mad at it. I'm going to enjoy making a video about this. You feel the heat under the weight of your body, and it brings to mind those cats lounging on parked car hoods. You used to think they did to ward off the chill, but Cooper had told you that the real reason was different. Cats perch on car hoods to protect themselves from stray dogs. What are you thinking about? About Tony's sermons. And you're buying his bullshit? Raise your chin in his direction. It's lame to answer a question with a question, Boulder. Ooh, that made him not trust me as much. You hear how he clears his throat and spits on the asphalt. Yuck. Did you know that saliva can stimulate soft tissue repair? And that it can accelerate healing? Vincent looks at his arm for a few seconds. It's the little I remember from school. I dropped out at 15. I locked myself in my room and cut myself near my elbow. Then I spit on the wound and stare at it for hours. Okay. I showed my brother what I was doing once. And the prick told our stepfather. I can still feel the pounding I took. The things he hurled at me. Years later, I tracked him down and took a butcher knife to him. As he bled out on the floor, I started spitting. I spit, and spit. My spit was all over the place. Except for the hole I put in that piece of shit. Boulder! Cross the truck's path and make it stop. I'll handle the rest. You rush to the door and fire up the engine. Look at this truck breaking up our bonding moment. That's crazy. I was just learning about this weirdo. Yes, cross the... Yeah. Alright, let's cross it. You slam down on the gas pedal, trying not to get left behind. Hey! You look to the side, and you spot Vincent clutching something in his right hand. You have a bad feeling about this. The truck driver seems to suspect something, and he's driving at full speed. It's going to be hard for you to overtake him and cross your car in front of him to force him to stop, especially given the oncoming traffic. Alright. Steer left. Steer right. Steer right. Damn, I got hit. Not fast enough. Let's try that again. Continue with the plan. This is how I gotta get their trust. Alright. Oh, shit. I'm dead. Oh, no, I got it. It happened so fast. Hold on, I was trying to keep up with it. I was surprised I made it past one of those, and I didn't even know how I got past it. Alright, hit the gas. Steer right. Hit the gas. Steer left. Steer right. Hit the brakes. Steer left. Hit the gas. Steer right. There you go. Whoo! Alright. This is how you get their trust, man. You can't back down. No, we're not going to hijack the truck. That bar's going to go all the way to the right, and we're going to die. Can't do it. Come on, man. Man up. You hear me? You owe the agency a lot. Without that transfer, you'd never have crossed paths with Eva. Hold still while we unload, huh? And Olivia wouldn't exist. When you were transferred, the agency had taken care of everything. They'd hired a truck to move you across the country. Your father had passed away not long before, and you made the decision to sell the house. Nearly everything there had belonged to him. Don't worry, it won't be long now. Boxes and boxes from a past that would never return. Cooper had been there, and he'd helped you unload them. You know what? I'm not worried about you talking. The trucker scans left and right. Ooh. Because you'll be sipping through a straw for at least a year. Damn. Hit him with the gun. At least he ain't shoot him, though. I mean, like, you lose a couple teeth, but you live. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bad deal. Cooper used to say that silence is more important than words. That the person who listens is more significant than the one who talks. And that words mean nothing without someone to hear them. Jesus multiplied the loaves and turned water into wine. Water into wine. Can you imagine? Why settle for a wine that's watery? There is laughter and some applause. I promised you a better miracle, didn't I? And I multiplied very good wines. But I'm no Jesus, no. I hold those who stand by me in high regard. Tony motions for you to step onto the stage. Boulder was one of the folks who helped me to get the wine for the day. You look around. Where's Vincent? Come here, Boulder. And hand out the bottles to the crowd. The atmosphere is booming. And you smile, thinking of Eva. Eva had said you didn't go out together enough. And she'd arranged a wine tasting at a new restaurant. Oh, new restaurant nearby. The idea didn't exactly tickle your fancy. But Olivia would be staying over at Eva's mom's, and you could drink as much wine as you wanted. Although that night had started with a lot of nonsense. Noses nestled in broad glasses, swirling motions to scrutinize the liquid's body, and elaborate descriptions for simple concepts like red or robust. The mess at the end had not been much different than tonight with the Bahnsen Knights. Listen up. This won't be the only miracle today. You catch some of Tony's talk. You're tired of his stories. If thumbing a ride symbolizes a modern-day Lazarus from the Bible, you'd rather be back home. Who embodies Jesus in this scenario? Hugging Eva, playing with Olivia. The car or its driver? What the fuck is Tony blabbering about? And who's the poor bastard the Falcon twins are hauling on stage? The man can barely stand. Could the twins have done that to him? The Falcon twins, an odd pair of Bahnsen Knights. Two bodybuilders who lost everything to the tornadoes, and for whom Tony set up a gym in one of their barns. Tony glances to the side and gestures toward the siblings. Allow me to introduce you to someone. Could this be our modern day Lazarus? It starts as a murmur. Lazarus. More people join in. Lazarus. And it ends with a roar. Lazarus! Tony walks up to the man, and even though he lowers his voice, you can still hear it from where you're standing. That's the problem with writers, Lou. Lou? Who's Lou? They just don't listen to people. You really think there's nothing to tell here, you son of a bitch? Lou chuckles, then laughter fading into a dry cough. You step over to Lou and offer your shoulder for him to lean on. What are you doing, Boulder? You raise your eyebrows, and Tony appears to hesitate for a moment. But eventually he nods. Monique, I need everything ready for tomorrow's Stations of the Cross. Vincent, take Lou to the barn. With a glance in your direction, Vincent looks surprised and starts to complain. Right now! You manage to get Lou in the back seat. It would have been easier with Vincent's help, but when you asked him, he just bared his teeth at you and sat behind the wheel of his Sierra. Lou seemed to have fallen asleep. Could this guy be the key to finally putting an end to it all? You feel the car slowing down, and you instinctively clench your fist. Don't get your hopes up, Boulder. Neither one of you is important enough to be executed in the middle of nowhere. It's the wine. I can't take it anymore. Oh, he went to go take a piss. You don't have much time. You shake Lou until he wakes up. Ask who he is. No, ask why they got him trapped. Lou coughs before answering. Tony wants me to... He's having a hard time concentrating. You squeeze his shoulder. He wants me to write his gospel. You start talking and Vincent gets in the car. Aw. What are you doing, you motherfucker? Oh, I'm about to die. Look at that bar. Look at that bar. Hold on. Move me out the way real quick. Hold on. Look at that bar. I'm about to die. It's about to be a wrap for me. It's about to be donezo for me. Aw, damn it. Before you open your mouth, Vincent turns around and points the shotgun at you. The shot goes through your abdomen, shattering the backseat of the Sierra. Lou covers his face and starts crying, covered in blood that doesn't belong to him. Damn. I knew that was going to happen. Alright, ask who he is. Oh. Damn it. Okay, so it starts after I already asked the question. Let me see, or... Yeah. Okay, so it does register that I asked the question earlier already. So let's just say... Fall silent. Yep. You fall silent and hear Vince's footsteps outside the car. Did you miss me? Not really. Hey, wipe that expression off your face, Boulder. We leave Lou in the barn and meet the others at Danny's. You smirk, but deep down you know time is running out. And one way or another, all of this has to come to an end. I can't believe I got murdered. Damn. And it's not the first time I've died. I've died 2 or 3 times already. No perfect runs for me. You enter the bar with a knot in your stomach. You feel that Tony is entering a spiral of madness that is dragging all the Bahnsen Knights down. You are not a Bahnsen Knight. You take a deep breath and cling to images of your other life. Something tells you that you don't have much time left. And maybe this is your last night to look for new evidence in the bar. Alright, let's go to the bar. Alright, let's ask more. I want to listen to more of Kevin's stories. You can hear them in any order you like. Although there's something about the chronological order that seems to make everything easier to understand. The stories I wrote about this guy are called The Ascent, The Ones Above, and The Fall. Alright, so let's go to The Ascent. He joined the FBI when he was pretty young, but his real rise happened a few years ago. About the same time, the world got wise to the concept of serial killers. Between 1973 and 1977, there were 5 murders perpetrated by traveling salesmen in the American Midwest. The police in each town managed to apprehend the killers after investigations that were quite similar to each other. The evidence seemed clear. Neighbors locating the salesmen at the scene of each crime. Murders committed with the objects that each salesman was selling. In all cases, the salesman claims their innocence. His bar is empty, by the way. I don't know if y'all peeped that, but who in their right mind wouldn't try to save themselves from a life sentence? I got his bar empty now, which means he trusts me all the way. Then there's another murder by another salesman. Our agent decides to take another look at the past cases and start spotting some coincidences. And he finds a witness testimony that the police seem to have dismissed. A family car had been seen driving around the block of one of the victims. An idea began to form in our man's head. Why would anyone assume that a salesman would kill one of his potential customers? And not only that, why would anyone assume that several salesmen, 6 if we take into the account of the last murder, would kill their potential customers? Wasn't it more logical to assume the existence of another individual? That's how our agent found the serial killer he dubbed the Red Herring Killer. Unbelievably, the Red Herring Killer actually did turn out to be a salesman. A salesman who was looking for other peddlers who shared some part of his route. Who he followed to choose his victims and commit the murders under the cover of evidence that convinced the police. Ooh, mouth getting dry. The FBI was able to convict the Red Herring Killer of all 6 crimes. And our agent was celebrated in national and international media. But do you want to know why he was promoted so quickly? It wasn't because of the investigation itself. It was because of the name. Red Herring Killer. The name was very good. We gotta go to the next part now. Listen to those above. By this time, our agent had already made a name for himself in the Bureau. Those were the years when serial killer investigations dominated the newspapers and television. Years in which the Bureau organized talks and conferences dedicated to finding a general definition of serial killer, setting them apart from terms like mass murderer or multiple murderer. Our agent took part in these events, even wrote articles for the Bureau's publications. Time between murders, 3 or more murders. All these characteristics were defined in this period. But time passed and the media stopped consulting our agent. He was carrying out several important investigations but wasn't landing any arrests. A body appeared in 1980, with enough to suggest it might be linked to a murder from 78. The Bureau had developed a query system to facilitate cross-referencing for investigation, but 2 victims weren't enough to make a serial killer. Our agent possesses unique insights, and he knows from the way the press, the movies, and TV treat them. Serial killers had started to be seen as celebrities. That is true. This simple fact, combined with the egomania typical of killers, would change everything. That's how they did with the Zodiac Killer. That's what they did with Jeffrey Dahmer. Yep, they did do that. He spoke to one of his contacts in the press and told him about the 2 victims, adding a third that was unrelated to the other 2, but with whom he called out a simple coincidence. And he asked the journalist to refer to the murderer as the Silver Ring Killer in his article. The day after the story was published, a man phoned the bureau, calling himself the Harpstring Killer. Golly. And he said that he had nothing to do with the third murder. But he did take credit for the first two, and he'd used a harpstring to garrote them. Sheesh, this is dark. Our agent explained to him that a series requires a third element. And without that third element, it wasn't a series, and therefore he had no right to be given a name. What type of stipulations? The murderer insulted him and hung up. Unfortunately, there hadn't been time to trace the call. 2 days later, a new victim appeared, and the bureau quickly apprehended the killer. He had been careless this time. Our agent was back in all the papers and on TV, but he couldn't stop thinking about the third victim. Had it been his fault? And now we gotta hear the fall. We gotta hear the fall now. So because of him taunting him and saying, hey, you only killed 2, not 3. Now a third person died. It's probably his fault, yeah. This is our agent's last case. The one that broke him. The one that led to nothing but coffee for breakfast. In a shitty bar like mine. Our agent had known success. He'd been in the papers, on TV. His name was recognized in the field, and he was respected by his peers. But not all agents were as lucky. Serial killers were grabbing the attention of the American people. And there were some agents who couldn't stand it. The ice block killer had been apprehended by an agent we'll call Bob. Bob had managed to solve a case that had first appeared to be 7 suicides by hanging. By apprehending a suspect he dubbed the ice block killer. According to Bob, the ice block killer knocked out his victims with a sleeping pill. And he'd staged a fake suicide using an ice block. He'd put the block on the floor and hang his victims from a ceiling beam, making sure they stood on the ice. Oh, then the ice would melt? And then he'd leave the scene, making sure he had an alibi that would place him far away from the crime? That's kind of crazy. The victim would be hanged to death when he couldn't stand on the ice anymore, which would melt into a puddle. That's fucking insane. Our agent had some doubts about Bob's investigation, and at a retirement party, he took advantage of Bob being drunk to ask him about the case. Laughing, Bob told him that he of all people should know the real answer. Bob had created the serial killer by falsely accusing one man of 7 murders that were nothing more than 7 isolated suicides. Wow. He'd forged evidence, fabricated testimonies, and pulled some favors from friends in the press. Our agent couldn't take it. He reviewed the investigation and sent a detailed analysis to a journalist he trusted. He knew that if they kept everything inside the bureau, Bob wouldn't receive the punishment he deserved. But again, he miscalculated. Minutes after the report went out on TV, Bob was found hanging in his home. Our agent was blamed for Bob's suicide, and at times he seemed to bear it. But one day he came across a book of kids' riddles in a used bookstore, and he would see how the case Bob had built, the hanging in the ice block, had been nothing but a brutal low-grade intellectual exercise. Our agent would buy that book of riddles and carry it everywhere. He would give up the bureau, and he'd just have coffee for breakfast in a bar like this one, drinking in silence. serving his own sentence. Tough. Alright, let me ask about the goons over here. Attention, everyone. He rings the bell and announces the next round is on the house. The goons approach the bar. Now's your chance. Oh, shit. My man, Kevin. Alright, look at the desk. Open. Close. Next compartment. Open. Close. Next compartment. Open. Close. Next compartment. Open. There we go. Close it. Next compartment. Open. Close. Next compartment. Open. Oh, there we go. Close. Don't leave nothing open. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. Now exit. Shit, I'm dead. Ah! I shouldn't have went back and checked it. Restroom? You're not sure she bites it. Okay, she only went up by She only had her suspicion go up by 1 block. I think we're okay. I think we're good. Let's exit. Yeah, we got everything out of that desk. If there was anything else, you know, so be it. Although your day started a little later with Eva and Olivia, you've always liked sunrises. When you were a kid, you shared a room with your 2 brothers. They were older than you, and both of them liked to sleep in. Since they wouldn't let you open the curtains too early, you had developed a system. You would lift the curtain a little and prop it up using Gumby, a toy that your uncle had given to all 3 of you, but your oldest brother had taken. Gumby could bend, so it was ideal for adjusting the angle at which the sunlight came through the window and illuminating a small area of the floor in your room. Lying in that pool of light without making any noise, you would read or do your schoolwork. You still remember that feeling, the warmth on your arms and face, the pages of the books reflecting golden light. Everything seemed easier in that spot. One day, Gumby fell, and as it fell, it hit another toy, setting off a chain reaction that woke up your brothers. Turns out your arms don't bend like Gumby's. Fucking Gumby. Fucking brothers. You think of Lou. Tony had mentioned the Stations of the Cross, of Via Crucis, and you know that things are happening too fast, and that you don't have much time left. You scan your surroundings. The Bahnsen Knights are asleep in their cars, and today you couldn't give a shit whether Gumby falls or not. You could attempt to pop open the trunks to see if any of the Bahnsen Knights are hiding something that might implicate Tony. You could revisit the cemetery and try once more. Even though you're well aware it's unlikely to yield results. Or you could simply return to bed. Your brothers were fond of sleeping, and things didn't turn out bad for them. Perhaps you should have taken the leaf out of their book, and then the fictional boulder would have never existed. Let's check these trunks, man. Let's try Vincent's. Alright, that didn't work. That didn't work at all. Alright, well then. Huh. Alright, let's see here. Let's try Monique's. Shit. How do I know it's opened? That's the real question. How do I know when it's opened? Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. Let's see. Can I get Lucas? There you go. Dang, I'm doing pretty good. I'm clicking through it because I don't know if this is timed or not. I don't know if it's timed. I just gotta, you know, we just gonna thug it out. Oop, there you go. Ooh. Let's do it. Do I gotta do all these? No, I got them already. Go to the graveyard, maybe? Go to the graveyard? Let's go to the graveyard. I just got my head bust open for no reason. Alright, let's Alright. Let's see here. So that was for... That would have to be the pills, because health, right? Alright, this would be for things that they do, that the Bahnsen Knights do. So, I mean, mob ties, you know what I'm saying? Alright, that's for their business, right? What you got for business? Property deed. Undoer of knots was for... I think that was for... What was that for? I don't even think we got nothing that would apply for that. I think last time we put a receipt on that, right? We don't got nothing like that. Expeditus. I'm gonna just guess on this. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by his tail. I don't know. I think that's everything. Oh yeah, let me read. What is it that your handler even wants? You think that maybe you haven't looked in the right places. Maybe you could have chosen to say other things. Or pursued alternative paths. Yeah, well, that's why I was asking about whether there's multiple endings or not. What about Cooper? Could he have uncovered something? And more important, could he have stashed it away before being discovered? Given what you knew about your friend, you have no doubt, but you don't know where to look anymore. Cooper, how you missed the son of a bitch. Nine episodes is crazy for a 2-hour game. Didn't you learn anything in school? Eva laughed, stretching out her left hand and looking at her engagement ring. A synecdoche is a figure of speech. It's when you use a part of something to refer to the whole. Or did you really think you were just going to take my hand in marriage? When you told Cooper you were marrying Eva, you told him what she'd said about synecdoches. Cooper waited for you to finish and smiled. He said that you've been very, very lucky. That not only had you found someone you loved, but you'd also learned a thing or two. A few weeks later, Cooper would have dinner at your house and meet Eva. They'd talk about work, about books, about you. One of them would mention the word synecdoches and they would start to laugh. They'd look for examples, ignoring your complaints, laughing at your annoyance, and they'd clink glasses every time they come up with a new one. Synecdoche. Oh my God, they got him stressed between 4 cars. It's been a long time since you thought of it. Yo, that's crazy. In Lou's Stations of the Cross, he doesn't carry any cross. Condemned and cross are the same thing. Nah, that's crazy. And you're not sure if this is an example of sin adultery or not. That's insane. Time is running out. You need to act. You touch your chest and feel the microphone you carry between your fourth and fifth rib. Oh, I'm wired? You'll need some kind of evidence of whatever the hell's going on to explain your actions to the agency. The cars are moving slowly, maintaining a constant speed. You ponder what might happen if one of the cars in front were to speed up. Or if one of the cars in the back suddenly slammed on the brakes. Lou would be dismembered. You know that dismemberment is a form of execution that has a long history. That a common way was to tie the condemned man's limbs to 4 horses. But you'd never heard of anyone doing it with cars. You look at your hand, clenching it into a fist to stop the trembling. This is insane. You don't know how much more you can take. What was his name? You struggle to recall the name of the Peruvian leader and the Spaniards tried to dismember but couldn't. It couldn't have been Tupac Amaru. But I'm going to choose it because of my blackness. Tupac Amaru, the leader of the Great Rebellion. You think about your mother's family. How little you know of their history. Keeping your brain busy in times of distress is the only way to keep from going crazy, Boulder. Cooper had told you about a soldier in World War I who recited the first 200 prime numbers from memory. As bombs fell in the trenches and fragments of his comrades flew through the air. You miss Cooper, and you miss your life beyond fiction. I guess I chose the right answer with Tupac. I don't know. Rest in peace, Tupac Amaru, and rest in peace, Tupac Amaru Shakur. Exorcisms at high speeds, miracles on the road, and now this. Does Tony really believe any of what he preaches? Holy shit. You no longer have any doubt that Tony is preparing something big tonight. Monique checks every single car that arrives at the barn. You can't blow your cover now. You reach under your clothes and yank out your microphone. You roll down the window and wait for the right moment to get rid of it. Where am I? Damn. Okay. I was trying to get a read of like that scene. Like which car was mine and then, you know what I'm saying? Okay, roll down the passenger's window. All right. Just gotta do it fast. That's all it was. You walk among the people without quite believing what you're seeing. Until now, everything Tony and the Bahnsen Knights had done seemed to you like some sort of fairground trick. A work of grandstanding showmanship, albeit heavily laced with religious overtones. But this? How far would Tony actually go? Do you know Longinus? According to the Gospel of John, the Roman soldiers who crucified Jesus, they didn't break his legs, as was customary to hasten the death of the crucified. Do you know why? because they thought Jesus was already dead. But one of the Romans, identified as some Texas centurion by the name of Longinus, he pierced him in the side with a spear to confirm that Jesus was dead. You look around you. Tony has his audience captivated. Do you understand the importance of what Longinus did? He caused a wound that by itself would kill Jesus. To find out if Jesus was already dead, he corroborated the fact by provoking the same fact, eliminating all contingencies, and confirming the idea that one way or another, our destiny is already written. Did you hear that, Lou? I don't need you. I don't need you. Lou's scream is lost among the cheering of the crowd. You can't take it anymore. You have to do something. So we charge at Tony or charge at the cross. If we charge at the cross, we're going to get stabbed. If we charge at the cross, we're going to get stabbed. If we charge Tony, everyone else is going to come whoop our asses. Ark and his crook just redeemed high quality H2O. You know what? I still have a little bit of water left. Thank you. I'm going to get me some water right here. Thank you for that. Hopefully everything's going good with you, Ark. Let me see here, man. I feel like... Alright, so if we charge the cross and we get stabbed by Tony, at least it's just getting stabbed by him. But if we charge Tony, everybody gonna jump us, yeah? I don't want to get stomped out by like 50 people, Mo. That's just not the way I want to spend my Saturday. Let's charge the cross. Oh, yeah, we're still gonna get jumped. God damn it. Get the son of a bitch! Punch. Oh no, kick. Oh, okay, here we go. Punch, kick, punch, punch. Why can't I control? I can't control? Okay. Punch. Okay, so kick. Okay. This is horrible controls. This is horrible controls. So punch attacks who's the way you're facing, and kick attacks who's behind you. This is like Double Dragon. Alright, so who's reaching me first? Kick. There we go. Kick. 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 Escape. The adrenaline keeps you on your feet. A helicopter. A blow to the back of your head prevents you from fully formulating the thought. Monique! Help me with these two. What just happened? Oh, it's a new episode. Episode 10. Is this it? Is this the final episode? I done got knocked out. The first thing you hear is the rushing of the air. The back of your head hurts, and you try to sit up. Easy, you son of a bitch. Like a slap in the face, Tony's voice jolts you back to the present. You're in a helicopter. How much longer, Monique? Monique doesn't reply. The noise inside the helicopter is deafening. Monique! How much longer? 10 minutes to the nearest F5. Did you hear that, Boulder? In 10 minutes, You're going down in hell. You fucked us, you piece of shit. Damn, going gun butt me. I lost a tooth. I always suspected it. You showed up not long after the other traitor. Cooper, your attempts to mask your reaction to hearing that name are worthless. Tony knows. We're getting close. Hold on tight. Want to know a secret, Boulder? We fed Cooper to a tornado too. You feel fury gripping every muscle in your body. This is crazy. Tony stares into your eyes with an intensity you've rarely seen. And you want to hurt him. Headbutt him. You get ready to headbutt him. But Tony knows. Looking you in the eye the whole time, he pulls his head back and avoids the attack. I'm about to get shot. Get the fuck up. He raises the gun and makes you move toward the door. Without saying anything else, he kicks you hard in the stomach and you fall to your death. Damn. Alright, let's kick him. The kick catches him off guard. You get up as fast as you can. Tony! What's going on back there? The turbulence increases and everything spins. Nothing I can't handle. You keep us flying. I'm whooping his ass. Yeah, he knocked out. Your stomach churns. The helicopter is losing altitude. Take a look. Trees, soil, water. Jump into the water. Yep, there we go. Boulder? Everything flashes by in a second. Eva, Olivia, Cooper, the breakfasts, the beers, the laughs, the cups of coffee, your daughter's drawings. Lou? It's over. The explosion is spectacular. A piece difficult to describe overwhelms you, and you realize how much your body aches. I need to see my family, Lou. Stop being Boulder and just be me again. Yeah, I like that. Imagine if like I had jumped without looking, but I was like, nah, we're gonna take that look first. If we had jumped without looking, we probably would have died by like hitting the ground or something, hitting the tree or something like that. Gamer brain, you know what I'm saying? I'm a gamer. I'm also a thinker. Good game. I enjoyed this. I actually enjoyed this, man. Shout out to Pixel Pulse, man. I think that's the name of the company, Pixel Pulse. Shout out to them, man. Fire game. Why the three dots? Why the three dots? Oh, this is the ending? Oh no, is it okay, he's going home. What are you looking back at? Okay, that's supposed to be Evie and Olivia. Oh, they was already outside. They weren't in the crib. Aww. Y'all better not have nothing bad happen to them. Let him have his happy ending, man. Is that Lou? Look at that typewriter. Golly. I know he not still typing up the gospel even though they dead. Pixel Pulps. That's what it's called. Pixel Pulps. Fire, man. Fire game. Fire game. Respect. I didn't even save the entire game. We just played it all the way through. They told me, hey, save the game every now and then. Nope. Nope. They got some extras here. Boulders extra and lose extra. I'm not gonna do those. But that's fire. Fire game, man. Damn, man. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that to be that good. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. I got this game a long time ago. I don't remember if I got it. At first I was wondering if I got it gifted, but I'm pretty sure I bought it. It was likely on sale. I buy a lot of games when Steam sales pop up. If something pops up and it's like super cheap, I'm getting it. $2 or $3, I'm copping. And then, you know, we gonna live with whether it was good or not. This is one of the good ones, man. I like this a whole bunch. I don't mind visual novels. A lot of people don't like visual novels. They don't like reading and things of that nature. They don't like multiple choice. I like having decisions. Like, I like having decisions in the game, and I don't mind reading. You know, it's cooler when they have voice acting, so I don't got to strain my voice, but I don't mind it at all, man. This was a really good game, and I'm definitely going to be doing a Regal rundown about it. So now we got 2 games I can make videos on, Astrobot and Bahnsen Knights. And you know, and I got a couple other ones too, man, that I beat when I was streaming on the YouTube side. So I got some more videos on the way, man, but this one was a fun one.
Copyright strikes, I really don't like copyright strikes.